Hello, morning everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, which is Dropshipping with StoreFeeder from setup to success. This is the next of the webinars we're putting on in the series, showing you how to get more out of StoreFeeder and showcase some features that are in the software you might not know about yet. I'm Jack. Some of you will probably already know me. I'm a StoreFeeder product knowledge expert. I've been at StoreFeeder for 12 years now. Started off working in support, became the onboarding manager, and now I've moved more into marketing. Today we'll look at how dropshipping in StoreFeeder can streamline your operations and boost your efficiency. So you can all see the presentation, hopefully. So this is the agenda for the webinar. First, we'll have an introduction to dropshipping, look at the advantages of dropshipping, and then look at how to create a supplier in StoreFeeder to dropship with, set up products that you can then dropship with that supplier, how to dropship an order, how to dropship multiple orders at once, a little case study on a customer that's used dropshipping in the past, best practices for dropshipping, and any questions. And if you could pop those questions either in the chat or in the Q&A section, we can look at those at the end. So to get started, where are we going? Dropshipping. What is dropshipping? I can't see the presentation now. Great. Oh, hopefully you can all see it. It seems to be the wrong one for me here. So, introduction to dropshipping. What is dropshipping? Dropshipping means you don't hold the stock yourself. Orders go directly to your supplier. And then they ship them to the customer on your behalf. Most orders... Oh. Yeah, apologies for this. Oh, you can see it. Brilliant. Cool. So, how it fits with StoreFeeder. Most orders that are imported into StoreFeeder can be dropshipped if you require it. There'll be exceptions to the rule, so maybe like FBA orders and certain ones you can't do that. But the majority of orders, if you've got them in the system, you'll be able to turn them into a dropshipment and send them that way. So hopefully this webinar will help you understand how StoreFeeder supports the dropship model. Right. So advantages of dropshipping. Lower costs. There's no need to keep the stock in your own warehouse. You're not having to pay to store it. It helps if you've got a smaller warehouse space, or if you're just starting out with a certain type of product. You haven't got to go all in and get them all at once. You can have a wider product selection, so you have access to multiple different suppliers. You'll have access to multiple SKUs, so you can then have, a width of product that you're not going to be able to fit into your warehouse, and you'll be able to get all of those for sale on your website. Market testing. You can easily try new products without the risk of unsold inventory. So you might see something that you want to try, but you don't, again, want to buy all the stock at once and store it. You can try it, see how it goes. If it goes well, you can perhaps get them in yourself and start fulfilling them that way. Scalability. As your business grows, you can scale up more without logistical challenges of managing more inventory. So you don't have to go all in and be running a warehouse operation that's shipping, tens of thousands of orders a day. You can send that to your dropshipper, have them do it, and it just saves you the effort at the start while you find your feet. Reduced risk. Since you don't purchase the inventory up front, the financial risk is minimized. Yeah, if you've not sunk the money into the SKUs already, you can try them and see how it goes. Adaptability, quickly pivot the SKUs you sell based on demand and market changes. Might be seasonality, so you want to send, ship more Christmas items at Christmas, but you don't have to have them in the warehouse all the year round that you don't sell. Or if there's a trend that you want to jump on, you can try those SKUs and see how it goes. Right, so now we'll look at how you actually do it in StoreFeeder. So first thing you want to do is create a supplier. This would be exactly the same as you would set up a supplier for a purchase order. So it's on the supply page, and then you'd add all of the basic supplier information that that they require. So it'd be the address, if there's any supply codes that are specific to them or a reference for you to them. The supplier email address, so that would be quite important because you use that to send the drop shipment request to. And then we've also got these dropship specific settings. So you decide whether you want the dropshipment to be per order, if you need it to change to any particular status as you go, sort of specific things to that supplier, and then they'll be different for each supplier that you've used. You also want to set the export methods. So at the minute, there's manual and email. FTP is in the list, and that's something that we're looking to add. So you'd be able to FTP your drop shipments to your supplier that way, and then you'd set up the method. So this is the format that the supplier receives your drop shipment request in. So it might be a CSV if you're sending loads of orders at once, and that's how the supplier wants it. You would just have a line, with all that order information on each one, and they would get that, process those all in one go. Or as a PDF, which we'll look at in a second, where you can basically send them like a packing note that they can put into the order if you use them, and send it as though so it looks like it's come from you directly. So here we go with how you'd set up or a look at how you create the in the PDF, and it's just basically done with tokens in HTML. So you just set it up to make it look like one of your invoices, basically. For the CSV one, I haven't got an example of it in the presentation, but you just put it up as a grid and choose which tokens you want to send to your suppliers or what they require, really. So just to recap that quickly, you create the supplier and add any supplier information you've got. Set your export method, so manual or email at the moment. Set your export template type, so it's a CSV or a PDF, and then create it as a CSV or a PDF. So, save the supplier. So, adding a dropship supplier to your product. So once you've created the supplier, you'll need to set the products up so that StoreFeeder knows that these are dropshipment products, and you need to, and they can be sent with a particular supplier. So the way this is done, it's just on the manage product page, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And then, there we go. And then at the bottom, you've got the product supplier. So here, you set the supplier SKU. That's really important because that might be different to your SKU, and it tells the supplier what they're picking. You can also have the unit cost price, in this case, £200, and then any other information you've got against it, as well as the priority supplier order. So that determines for you which are your preferred suppliers for it. It might be that there's one that can ship a lot quicker, so you set that as the priority supplier, or there might be one that's cheaper, so you always have that at the top. But you can have multiple suppliers against the product, and then something we'll look at in a little bit, you can sort of choose which ones you want to use for the order. Now, the majority of you aren't going to want to go through and add the supplier individually to each product, so you can obviously do it in bulk. This is just done through the product import export. So you just export a file with at least the supplier SKUs on, as well as the as your SKU and ID, but they'll be selected automatically when you go to generate the file. And you'd want to export that, open it with Excel, and you've got a CSV with that information in. So you then, just make sure that you fill in the supply SKU column with what you want it to be and any supply costs in this example that you want to use. So zoom in a bit. And you've got that information, which is then ready to be uploaded back into StoreFeeder just through the product import export again. And that will automatically add it to your products. So at this point, you'll have your supplier set up, your template set up, and all products that are ready to be drop shipped set up as well. So to recap that and get ready for actually drop shipping the orders, we've got a dropship supplier to products. either individually or via CSV. And like we're saying, products now ready to be drop shipped when ordered. So how do you actually drop ship an order? We'll look at doing an individual one first. So first you want to find the order that you want to drop ship on the manage order page. You may find the order, or at least filtering by them, might be something that is specific to how you want to do it. So in this case, I've just searched for the order because I knew what the order was. So I've gone out and found that. But it might be that you drop ship orders for a, you might drop ship ones for a particular channel. So all channel orders from this channel are drop shipped. So you send it with, find the channel, and that's the order you're going to drop ship. Or it might be that you drop ship orders that are out of stock. So you know that any order that's pending waiting stock is a drop ship one because the orders come in and you can't fill it, and you might do it that way. So once you're in the order itself, you have the order line items at the bottom, and you just want to find those. Select all of the line items that you want to drop ship. Select create drop shipment from the drop down, hit confirm, and then you'll get another window. I would just zoom in a little so you can see a bit clearer. So yeah, they're the items that you want to send. And then you'll get a window saying add products to drop shipment, and here you'd select the supplier from the list that you want to send it with. So when you're doing it this way, you'd be sending all the line items on the order with one supplier. Click new drop shipment. That will set the order as a drop shipment. And if you then go to products and drop shipping, you'll see that order in there as a drop shipment, but it's not been sent to the supplier yet because everything that you'd send, or it won't automatically go. You don't want to, you don't want to send it by accident, basically. So we'd go in here, see the order, and there on the right hand side there, we've got a little link to send the drop shipment. So when you click that, it actually starts the process of sending it to the supplier. So if we click the button, you'll get a little confirmation window showing that this is the email and these are the attachments that are going to be sent to the supplier for this order. So if it's the CSV we set up, that would be attached, or if it's the PDF we set up, that would be attached. And then you just confirm that and send it, and then that marks the order as drop shipped. You get a notification saying that the email's been sent, and now we'll see it's sent to supplier. And as far as StoreFeeder is concerned, that order has been drop shipped now, so that will then be fulfilled. So just looking at that again, find the order to be drop shipped, mark the line items to drop ship on the order, select the supplier you're using, confirm sending the email to the supplier, and then mark the order as drop shipped. But 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be wanting to drop ship individual orders in one go. You're going to want to do them in bulk. So the process for that works in a similar way. You just don't go into the order. So if we look at this one, I've found an order that I'm going to drop ship in bulk this time. Again, filtering them might be done by channel or by order status in your case. And this time, we select the order on the left, and then from the bulk options menu on the manage orders page, you'd select dropship orders. So you'd select everything that you want, select dropship orders from the drop down, hit the confirm button, and then you'll get a window pop up that asks if you want to use a common dropship supplier. So this we'll look at a little further on, but it's really useful because you can determine whether you want the order to go with one supplier, regardless of whether the line item that they've got is the cheapest or not, or with multiple suppliers if you want to send it with more than one supplier and send it to 2 orders, basically. Once you've decided, you just hit confirm. It then takes that you then go to the drop shipping page again, like we looked at when you've done it for a single order, and have all the orders in here. So here we've got the 2 of them, and we want to just mark those as drop shipped in one go. So instead of having to click send drop shipment as the link there, yeah, you can see that the order status has been changed to drop ship, but it's still a draft. So that's telling StoreFeeder that it's ready to go. It just needs to be confirmed. And to do that, we would select the items from the left, select send drop shipment from the drop down menu, and then hit confirm. And this time it's marked all of those orders as drop shipped in one go. So instead of having to go through and do it one by one, it sent them all to the suppliers that they specified. It's probably easier and quicker to do it that way. It just means you lose a bit of the flexibility of being able to choose which specific line items, because it will do everything in the order. But I suspect 9 times out of 10, you will just want to drop ship the order. Yeah, and here we can see that the order status has now been changed to sent by supplier. So sent to supplier, sorry. So now we know that the order's been drop shipped. So if we just quickly recap this bit, you filter the orders on the manage orders page, find the ones you want to drop ship, select the orders and choose drop shipment from the drop down menu. Select if you want to use a common supplier or not, confirm the drop shipment, and then there you go. So right now we'll look at the case study. So the problem that this customer is having was that order lines, so orders they were drop shipping had order lines with different priority suppliers. So this means that they perhaps had 2 line items on order. Their priority supplier for one of them was different to the other because it might have been cheaper, but they don't want to send it from 2 separate suppliers, as they'll have to pay for the postage twice, and that will end up working out more expensive than perhaps using a secondary supplier with a slightly more expensive item, but they haven't got to pay for postage. So the way that we've sort of got around that was to have that common supplier option added, that when you're creating the drop shipment in bulk, you can go, no, it doesn't matter if it's a different supplier, if it's a more expensive supplier or with that supplier, I want it to go with the same one each time. So this means that multi-line orders can be sent from one supplier, saving on postage costs and giving you a bit more flexibility with it. So you can choose this at the point you're creating the drop shipment, basically. Right, so here are some best practices for drop shipping. Efficient supplier management. So you want to ensure that your suppliers are properly set up and integrated into StoreFeeder, so that when you go to send drop shipment, all the information that it wants is there, and you don't have to go back and edit something when you're just trying to get the orders out. Streamlined order processing. So because you can do it in bulk, it will be easier and it will be quicker. It's just having it set up to do that. Optimize warehouse usage. So if you're only stocking physically fast-moving products or items that are easy to store, you've got a more efficient warehouse just by doing that. So you're not having to store Christmas trees at the back of the warehouse all year long if you're drop shipping them only at Christmas time, for example. So Q&A, let's have a little look and see what we've got in the chat, if there are any questions. Or in a Q&A, let's have a look. So I think we've got one here. So we drop ship some items from the supplier, however, stock others. Is there a way to make individual products from a supply drop shippable rather than the whole order? Or would we rather make this separate supplier? So you, when we looked at that drop shipping an individual item with that, what you'd want to do is just select the line items from it that you want to drop ship. So I don't think you have to drop ship the whole order. You can just go, I'm going to drop ship this, but I'm going to fulfill this, and it will split the order. You process the order yourself, and then the drop shipment part will be sent out to the supplier to do. The only thing you might have to have a look at is how the tracking would work. But I think it would be, yeah, we'd send tracking from StoreFeeder for the order that you're fulfilling. Yeah, I think it should be fine. Hi Jack, we send with dropship. We can't add the tracking info from the supplier into StoreFeeder, a traceable link to the sent when the order is dispatched. Yeah, this was something I was like trying to work out exactly what we were doing every scenario for this. I know that some suppliers, I think maybe you could do it. I think we can set that through the API. It would need to be something perhaps to have a look at. It might be something that might be worth being reaching out to support over and just seeing what they want to, how they would suggest doing it. Because I can see how you'd do it, but I don't know whether it would work with every supplier, if you see what I mean. So hopefully that helps. Hi Jack, we send with dropship. Oh, that's the same one. Cool. Are there any other questions, or have I missed any? Cool. Yeah, looks like all of them. But if you do have, I know I can see Luke's writing something. Yeah, I was going to say, if you do have any other questions that you think of after the webinar, yeah, feel free to get in touch with support, and they'll be able to help you with them. They all know about dropshipping, so it'll be fine. Yes, there will be it will be uploaded to YouTube at some point, so there will be there will be a mod for it. So that's good. Yeah, no, I'm glad it's been helpful so far. That's good to hear. Yeah. And if there's no more questions, yeah, that's it. Thank you for your time. There will be another one of these coming up. We haven't quite got the subject for it yet, but we'll send a message out through StoreFeeder and through email. So yeah, you should be able to keep an eye out for that. And if you've got any questions, like I say, hello@storefeeder.com, or put in any ticket with the support team and they'll be able to help you. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you for your time.